Hello and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech for your daily dose of the latest gaming news with myself, Amata. Today is the 1st of July and I have some news for you concerning D4, which is otherwise known as Dark Dreams Don't Die, which is the next game coming from the studio behind Deadly Premonition. And this is of course a digital only release coming to the Xbox One. And will be following an episodic release format similar to Telltale's The Walking Dead. And like The Walking Dead, it will share much with the classic point-and-click adventure games, especially with its emphasis on narrative. And I've got a few details for you on this particular game, as I have given a little bit of information on the story and some of the gameplay aspects and the mechanics as well. So, what do we have? Well, the game is described as a murder mystery in which the main character, David, who is a detective, must solve the case of his wife's murder. Though he was a victim of the event that killed his wife, he survived miraculously. In exchange for his memories, he was given the chance to relive past events by making contact with certain mementos. By looking back into memories and conducting investigations, he is also able to solve crimes. And although David believes he can return to the past and save his wife, the person behind the game has indicated that this may not entirely be true, though he did not actually say what he meant by this or what have you, because obviously he doesn't want to give away any major spoilers, and that was Hidetaka Suehiro, and please excuse me for completely butchering the pronunciation there. And D4 has been designed with the next-gen Kinect in mind. Action sequences will involve the player mimicking on-screen gestures, and although the action is choreographed, the way the scene plays out can alter depending on how the player's proficiency is in matching gestures. And additionally, players can use the Kinect during interactions with characters by speaking lines. And before you start raging on this already, D4 does feature full controller support for those who do not want to play with the Kinect. Which, to be honest, pleases me greatly. I'm sure that the advances in the Kinect technology that Microsoft has made for the Xbox One are great indeed, but just a lot of people just don't want to use the Kinect. They, when they sit down to play a game, it's often after they've just got home from work, they've maybe just had their dinner or whatever, and they just want to kind of unwind in front of a good game and just relax, and most people can't do that if they're having to wave their arms around or what have you. So I'm pretty glad to hear that they have put the full controller support in for this particular title. I have to say, this sounds interesting. Likening it to The Walking Dead, well, that's quite some big boots to fill there, because The Walking Dead, while gameplay-wise was not exactly what I would call amazing, has some of the best story, characters, and writing that I have seen in a game for a long, long time. And The Last of Us has come along recently and pretty much joined it along the ranks of probably one of the top stories of all time in gaming. And so comparing it to The Walking Dead, well, people immediately think, well, but where's my story? Where's my characters? And it might have that, it might not, I don't know. It sounds interesting at least. I like the whole memory thing. It's an interesting idea, although it kind of reminds me of one of the superpowers from Heroes. You guys remember that show, right? Where if you picked up an object, you could see what it had experienced or something like that, I think it was. You could see the history of an object, yeah, that was it. Kind of reminds me of that superpower, but I'm not saying that Heroes made it up or anything, just kind of reminded me of it. I think I'll most likely be checking out this game. We're a gaming channel. We're going to be looking at both the Xbox One and PS4 games as we proceed hurtling into the next generation, so I'll most likely will be checking this one out because it sounds really interesting, and be curious to see how the Kinect actually features into it. Play with the Kinect and then play with the controller and see what the difference actually is. Still, I'm rambling on a little bit now, just going into speculation mode, but still be curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Any of you who are thinking of picking up the Xbox One, do you think you're going to be taking a look at this particular game? Me personally, I am, just because I like the sound of the ideas, and weird and wonderful games always appeal to me over the cookie-cutter ones, and this one sounds like it's at least got some ideas under the hood. Whether or not it's being able to execute them well, that's something of a different matter. Anyway, as I said, do hit me up with any thoughts and opinions down below. Always good to hear from you guys, and I'll see you next time.